Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we are talking about something huge. It's this incredible fusion of two of the most powerful technologies out there, Ethereum and artificial intelligence. So what happens when you give smart machines their own bank accounts on a global, decentralized computer? Well, you get the very beginning of a completely new kind of economy. And really, this gets to the heart of what we're talking about today. Just imagine for a second a world where the biggest players, the most active traders on a global financial network, aren't people. They're autonomous AI agents. And believe me, this isn't science fiction anymore. It's the future that's being built as we speak. Okay, so let's break this down. Here's our game plan. We're going to start with the dawn of these AI agents, then dig into why Ethereum is basically the perfect home for them. After that, we'll look at the new rules being written for this economy, see these agents in action right now. And finally, we'll try to peek into the future and see what this machine economy could look like by 2026. So first up, the dawn of AI agents. Now, this isn't something that's just kind of happening by accident. Oh no, it's a very deliberate, very focused effort. The big vision here is to make Ethereum the trusted, fundamental foundation for a whole world of autonomous AI. And there's actually a dedicated team at the Ethereum Foundation pushing this forward right now. This whole vision, it actually has a name, Decentralized AI, or DAI for short. The goal is pretty simple. Create a world where AIs can talk to each other, pay each other, and build reputations, all without needing to trust some big centralized company. And to make it happen, the Ethereum Foundation launched its own DAI team way back in September 2025, specifically to lead the charge. So the big question is, why this combo, right? What is it about Ethereum and AI that makes them such a perfect match? Well, it turns out it's this deeply symbiotic relationship where each one makes the other way, way more valuable. And this is where it gets really interesting, because it's a two-way street. Think about it. Ethereum gives AI what it desperately needs, a way to prove it can be trusted, a way to operate out in the open instead of being stuck in the black boxes of big tech. But in return, AI gives Ethereum a whole new class of power users that could drive an insane amount of activity on the blockchain, which in turn boosts the network's value and utility. You know, for the longest time, this was all just a cool idea on a whiteboard. The problem was, transaction costs and speeds made it totally impractical for millions of AI agents to be chattering back and forth all day. But that all changed very, very recently. A couple of key tech upgrades have finally made this whole machine economy actually affordable. The real game changer was the Fusaka upgrade, which went live on December 3rd, 2025. This thing was huge. It totally slashed transaction costs on what are called Layer 2 networks. Those are basically fast lanes built on top of Ethereum. We're talking costs dropping to fractions of a cent, and that just opened the floodgates. All of a sudden, having millions of AIs making tiny little payments to each other all the time went from being impossible to being super cheap. Okay, so the technology is finally there. It's fast and cheap enough. But for all these different AIs to work together, they need a shared language, right? A set of rules of the road. And that brings us to our next section, building the rulebook for this brand new machine economy. And just look at how fast this is all moving. It's honestly incredible. The DIA team launched in September. A brand new identity standard popped up in October. The critical network upgrade went live in December. And the plan for 2026, it's already focused on building out a full-blown financial system just for these agents. The pace is just wild. This leads us to a really fundamental problem. I mean, if you can't see an AI or talk to it, how on earth can you trust it? How do you know what it can do, what its track record is, if it's reliable? You need some kind of rock-solid on-chain identity. And the answer is something called ERC 8004. The best way to think about it is like a digital passport and a professional resume for an AI, all rolled into one and locked down on the blockchain. It's a breakthrough standard that's designed to solve that trust problem and let AIs from all over find and work with each other seamlessly. So here's how it works. Each AI gets its own unique ID in the form of an NFT, a non-fungible token, which is just a provably unique digital item. This ID holds information about what the AI is good at and how to talk to it. But here's the most important part. Over time, it builds an on-chain reputation based on its history of successful jobs and payments. This lets AIs cooperate with each other without trusting each other first. They just have to trust the data on the blockchain. So we've got the vision, we've got the tech, and we have the standards. But is anybody actually using this stuff? Is it just theory? Oh, absolutely not. Let's move on to AI agents in action, because this is already happening in the real world today. AI agents are already buzzing all over Ethereum and its layer 2s. We're seeing them in decentralized finance, or DeFi, managing investment portfolios and making trades. We've got projects that are putting AI models directly on chain so anyone can verify their calculations. They're playing in prediction markets, and they're even showing up in consumer apps like virtual influencers that literally have their own crypto wallets. And look, this isn't just small experiments. This quote points to a major move by an institution back in October 2025. A company called Sharplink moved $200 million of Ether onto a Layer 2 network, specifically to mix DeFi with verifiable AI. That tells you that serious, big-time capital is already flowing into this space. All right, let's head into our final section and look ahead. With all of this incredible momentum, just how big could this new machine economy get? Well, the numbers being thrown around they're pretty staggering. Get this. According to some analysts, by the end of this year, which is just a few months away, AI agents could be handling a massive 15 to 20% of all trading volume in decentralized finance. To put that into perspective, that's nearly a fifth of all automated trading on the blockchain being run by non-human agents. That is a huge slice of a multi-billion-dollar pie. And if you zoom out just a little further to 2026, the total amount of money locked up in these AI-integrated systems is projected to hit as high as $300 billion. That's not a niche market anymore. That is a whole new autonomous economic sector being born right on the blockchain. Of course, let's be real for a second. The road ahead isn't perfectly paved. The opportunity for explosive growth is obvious, but it's balanced by some very real challenges. You've got risks around who controls the AI models themselves, potential regulatory headaches, and the really tricky problem of making sure these agents are truly autonomous and not just puppets for some hidden controller. Which leaves us with this final thought. We are literally watching the foundations being built for a new economy, one that's faster, more efficient, and run by non-human intelligence. And the question we all have to start asking ourselves is, as this machine economy grows, what will a world run by autonomous agents actually look like?
Please subscribe and like.